Look at that. It's like what I heard in I heard that like birds for some reason are like attracted to like people that are like at peace for some reason. Like you tap into some kind of field and they're just attracted to it. And like, look, I was just sitting here cutting some firewood with this machete, and these birds come flying up. But I heard also somewhere that it says, "Be careful when you're complaining, lest a bird hear it and go tell heaven." Like, in other words, these birds somehow are kind of like little recording devices that the heavenlies can tap into and kind of access. You get their stories like Odin, that's Zeus, basically. He has ravens that fly around and spy for him. And nowadays we got drones that can do that too, and they can even mimic a bird. But I realized something too. It's like birds also can hear if they're attracted to the spirit of peace, but also if they hear clamoring and a lot of noise and a lot of like yelling, it's like I think they come and wait because they know that the spirit of murder is present. Like it says somewhere in the Bible, it says, "Come ye fowls of heaven and gather. Today you will feast on kings and princes." It's because birds are already there waiting for people to die at the battle. So when men gather in large numbers, like, must be instinctually, kind of like when the sharks gather in the ocean where all the little fish are at. You know what I'm saying? These things, like, they hone in onto those things. Like, I think they like to observe peace, but opportunist-wise for, like, food, and it's just, that's what happens, you know, when a large amount of people are murdered, there's going to be corpses, and then birds can get a free meal off of it. So I think that they're always scouting and waiting for something like that. Like at any time they can, a lot of birds, like, they can be predator and scavenger, you know what I'm saying? It depends on the opportunity, you know. But yeah, because I have noticed, like, look, clanging and banging with metal attracts in birds. But every time I've seen that, that's more or less, it's like, look, there's something it's like when you're totally concentrated and you're one-minded and you're content and you're at peace because you're busy doing something, you know, keeping your hands busy and your mind occupied on doing something good, and it's almost like they come to watch your ability to see, like, how good you're at, like, whistle while you work type deal. Yeah, it's written about this guy with the sword who was practicing by himself, and it was making this zip zoop noise, and the birds came in to watch, and they actually started to sing along with this guy with the rhythmic pattern of the whip of the sword. You know what I'm saying? So I've heard of that in a book, but I've also seen it myself, like the wood swords training video where the fucking flock of freaking birds flew up on me and was like, like a whole bunch of them. It was one of those type of experiences there. But then ever since, I've been also pondering other things about it, and that's one of the things. When they hear clamoring, it means that there could be violence around. So they're waiting for one of the parties to kill the other. So I mean, there's a way you can catch, like, look, is the spirit of murder around? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why the whole Red Rum, Crow, frickin' Edgar Allan Poe, you know what I'm saying? All that type stuff, Nevermore, is all kind of loosely related to these phenomenons.